So just imagine how I was feeling.
Right.
But in in the situation, it's very stressful because like brothers like you, brothers like me, brother Dre, we're very ambitious. We want to be at the top. If I'm in here, I see people moving up. That person's now a supervisor. He's making six figures now. I want that same opportunity. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
want to wait. I don't want you to say, well, you gotta wait. You gotta work just as hard to get half as much. Okay, that I understand that game, but at the same time, I want to win. I want that position. I want that corner office.
Right.
I want to make 120, 150,000 a year. So, just going, navigating the system, just seeing how things work, seeing all these secret meetings happen, you know what I mean? Seeing you want you to, jump, and once they say jump, you say how high, stuff like that. And me personally, I'm the type of person, when I see funny stuff going on, I'm not going to be quiet about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm going to take you to the side. I'm going to see the supervisor and say, listen, we need to have a sit down. We need to have a talk. Why is X, Y, and Z getting that opportunity, but I'm not getting that opportunity? Like, really, what is it going on?
Right.
So once you really see like the racism right in front of your face, it just really makes you just want to just go a different direction. Like I said, I've seen people older than me, people that've been there for years saying, well, this is what you got to do. You got to feed your family. I've been here 20 years and I've never been promoted. And I was like, I don't want that to be me. Like, I don't care. I don't want to be here 20 years and not ever say I was promoted. That I just literally couldn't do that. So I had to walk away. I had to get out of the situation because it was going to literally make me crazy.
Yeah, and that stress is very real, man, and it's one thing as men, as fathers, as husbands, and as family men, we know that our God-given duty is to provide for and to protect, right? But there, as a provider, when you understand entrepreneurship, then you know that there are a lot more efficient and effective ways to provide for your family. And then you can be a better protector because when you're providing more efficiently, you can be present more. Right? And that's what I want my brothers to see is that, man, if you busting it for 12 hours a day, you might be providing everything your children need, everything your family need. But if you have to be away from home 14 hours a day to make that happen, where are you when they need your protection?
Exactly.
Right? So talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to do as an entrepreneur that has helped you to grow and take yourself as a being to new heights, because I think that's what most people miss about entrepreneurship is the personal growth that you're forced to undertake when you step into entrepreneurship. I know it wasn't easy to walk away, but what was that feeling like? And then what was some of the first things that you recognized in terms of growth that you saw within yourself those first 12 to 18 months?
Well, I realized how important time is. I think a lot of us just take time for granted. So being able to be in control of my own time, like right now I'm talking to you. If I was at work, this wouldn't even be happening.
Right.
We probably
Right.
wouldn't even know who each other are because we wouldn't even be in that world. I wouldn't have been on Facebook. We wouldn't be, connecting on Facebook and talking about wealth on a daily basis. I would be worrying about going to work.
Right. Right.
So number one, time. Just having control, 100% control of my own time. I'd rather put 14 hours in for myself than put it in for someone else. So when you're working that job, you have to ask another man, can you take off work? Another man, can you spend time with your family? You ask another man or woman if you can go on vacation to spend time with your family. So literally, just think about that. For other people watching, just think about it. If you're on the plantation doing a job, nothing wrong with that. I don't judge. People do what they got to do.
Right.
Listen,
Right.
you know what I mean? I worked the job for years, so there's nothing wrong with that. But just think about that, realistically. I have to ask another man or woman, can I spend time with my family? But just, to answer the question, when I left, I was nervous. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like I said, I never went to school for business or finance or stuff like that. So I didn't know how to run a business, but I counted on myself. At the end of the day, I said, because, at the job, they always want to tell you what you should be doing. Well, this is how you can get to the next level. This is what you should be doing. And I said to myself, I know better than you. Like, how do you know what's going to take my career or my life to the next level more than me?
Right.
So I said, I'm going to bet on myself. I don't care what I got to do. If I can put my own time in to build my own dream, build my own future, there's no way anyone can stop me. But it really came to the point where I was like, because the reason why most people don't want to leave the job is money. You know, let's be frank. It's because they say, I don't know where the money's going to come from. I got to pay bills. I got kids. I got to feed them. It came to the point where me, it was like, I had money saved. I had a 401k. I had to dip into and stuff like that. But it came to a point when I was like, I would literally rather be broke. I would rather be dead broke, you know, have to hustle, you know, when I got to go online and sell stuff. I got to sell T-shirts. I would rather do that than to come in this corporate job and kiss somebody's ass all the time and try to, you know, find my way to move up the ladder. I would rather literally be flat broke and have to deal with it. But once I came to that perspective, it did make it a lot easier because from there you can only go up. If you're comfortable being broke as an entrepreneur, you have to be comfortable being broke. Because you may be broke for a while.
Absolutely.
So once that came into my mind, like, I'm comfortable being broke, it can't be worse than that. You basically, from there, you can only go up. So I've, you know, only seen it go up building relationships, and it gets easier once you can contact people like you, Brother Dre, people that are on the same page. Once you can contact them, once you have relationships with them, it makes the entrepreneurship journey a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And it was for me. I'll be celebrating my 1-year anniversary on October 3rd. It was. I tell everybody it was the most exciting and exhilarating and frightful thing I've ever done in my life. But going back to what you said about asking permission. I remember my youngest son just turned 16 last week on the 12th. And I remember my supervisors and my bosses almost questioning whether or not I was going to be at the hospital when he was born. And two reasons that bothered me, because one, you think this job is more important, but then the second underlining thing is, do you think because I'm a black man, I don't care about my children? And that's, you know, that I was like, nah. My girl Nakisha Smith put a meme up and said there's two types of people. The type that got you, and then the type that got you messed up. And at that point, they had your boy messed up, man. Cause that was crazy. But what was funny is he was born on 9/12/01, which is day after 9/11. So, you know, the place was shut down anyway. So, but now I want you to dig into what helped you, where your passion for the community came in at, right? Has that always been something that was in you? You know, like me as a child, I said, man, I'm gonna figure this thing out, and when I do, I'm gonna make sure that all my people know. Was that something, or did you have a life-altering event that made you say, you know what, you know, because some people are just kind of going through the motions, and then something happens, like a Mike Brown situation, or Tamir Rice or something, and that transforms them. So what was that like for you? I know growing up in Philly, you probably was, you know, born into, hey, do for community, but what was that story like?
Yeah, it's pretty much always been with me. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, keeps going up and up. I mean, when I was 16, when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, about 15, 16, that changed a lot for me just in general. You know what I mean? Just reading that book, and then, you know, just watching society, and then you're reading that book, and you're saying, like, everything he's talking about is still going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, literally. So that book, number one, just as like a teenager, you know, that helped a lot. But it's pretty much always been with me. You know what I mean? Like, seeing the Martin Luther King stuff and the, you know, civil rights movement growing, you know, learn about that, Black Panthers. Like, that's always really been a part of me. You know what I mean? It's just, I've always had that foundation. But then, you know, going through life, and then you just see things, it just brings you right back to it. Like, you know, going into corporate America, you just see things like that. Right. That's going to literally change your perspective. You have that foundation, but then you go into corporate America and it's like, okay, everything makes sense.
Right.
Everything that these people are talking about makes sense. So for me, I think I've always had the core, but then just going through things, having to make sense and just seeing how the world has just been changing. You know what I mean? Like the Michael Brown situation, all the police killings. So, when that stuff was happening, I was working at the corporate job. And it's like it never existed. It's like it never happened. Like it's kind of you don't talk about it. I'm on Facebook. I'm seeing Facebook Live, and people are protesting. It's crazy. In the office, it's like another day. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't affect their lives. So I was like, that was one of the main things. I was like, it feels weird to me that it's like people aren't talking about it, but me, it's like really deeply affecting me.
Right.
So it's like I gotta get out of that situation because this, I have a different reality than most of these people.
Absolutely.
But just to answer a question, I mean, it's always kind of been with me, and especially when you get older and you become an adult and things just come full circle.
Yeah.
And now, like with Facebook, like 10, 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have Facebook and a way to express ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So now if I feel some type of way about something, I see a police killing, I can just go on Facebook and voice my opinion and connect with people all over the world, and like-minded people can like it, share it, we can talk about it, you know what I mean? Stuff like
Absolutely.
that. So I think all those components together just, what make me who I am.
Yeah, and that's amazing that you said that, because we in St. Louis, they just had the verdict of another cop killing. And of course, he was found not guilty. And the weird thing was, not only was they found not guilty, they didn't even send it to a jury trial. They let a single judge make the decision. And a judge who was 5 months from retirement. And there was a whole lot of stuff just... And you're right, man, when things like that happen, I kind of got to a place where I was tired of having to put on that face to go into the job, right? Knowing that, the whole Michael Brown situation was, I almost choked my supervisor because he was, man, don't talk to me about it. There's a reason we can't talk about it, right?
Exactly.
So don't talk to me about that, man, because you're not going to tell me that because, the officer feared for his life, or he said that, Mike Brown was going for his gun or whatever. Whatever the story was, you're not going to tell me that if that was your son, no matter what your son did, you wouldn't be outraged. So stop it. So we kind of, so I got tired of putting on that face and having to be that guy and then come home and be who I was. And if you're not careful, you can get lost in that identity crisis, right? So I had someone who said, did you have another income and like a spouse working, or did you just quit your job cold turkey and just had to go from there? I'll tell my testimony real quick. I did. My spouse is still working, so we had that as a baseline income. So that kind of helped. But I don't, even if she did not, I was so ready to go. But how about you?
No, I'm not married. So I had money saved. I had investments. I had a 401k. A company, it's a pretty good company. They paid you, pretty well. They, matched. I was there for like 5 or 6 years. So I was kind of fully vested, for the most part. So it took about 5 years to get fully vested.
Right.
So, I'll be honest, I had to dip into my investments. When I started working on the job, I didn't just go into it like, oh, I want to work. I want to, get a paycheck. I was like, okay, I'm working in an investment company. How do I invest? You know what I mean? How do I make money? So I was investing from the beginning, when I first started working. So I had money invested, saved, 401k. But I'll be honest, I had to dip into my investments.
Right.
I had to dip into my 401k and pay the penalty and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't do it like that. I probably wouldn't recommend anyone doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I had like a 401k to lean, fall back on. But that, that's where my money came from.
Yeah, I was in a similar situation. I actually had to clean my 401k, but I used that money to start another business that was going to bring some more money. I used that to start my Solid Foundation athletic training, which is something that I'm also passionate about. But I said, hey, if I'm going to, I want people to get this. And since you're an entrepreneur, you understand that, wait a minute, if somebody is paying me X amount of dollars to do a job for them, that is an investment. anybody in business who's making an investment, they're not going to get a return of equal value for that investment. So when I realize as an entrepreneur, if they're paying me X, chances are they're making 2 or 3 times what my job is producing for them. So if they're paying me, so I walked away, my job was, I was at about 60K when I walked away. So if they're paying me 60K, chances are the level of job that I'm doing and what I'm bringing to the table, they're probably making 200, 250K off of that. So when you start to understand what your value is in that place, you start to say, well, wait a minute. If I'm already worth 200K, because they got to be making more than what they're paying me,
exactly,
then I probably can go get at least half of that on my own, right? Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I love how you brought that point up. You know, it's labor and a commodity. So they see us as labor and commodities.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, it's business. You know, for them, the employers, they don't see it as personal, you know, they see it as business.
Mm-hmm.
So this person, black or whatever, can come in and we're going to pay him 60, 70K. Mm-hmm. So we're going to make at least 200K. So like you said, once you realize that as an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. and you say, you know, my labor, my time is worth something. So we think that our time isn't worth anything. So mm-hmm. if you get laid off or you get fired or you can't find a job and you just sitting there waiting for someone to pick you up, waiting to get a job, and someone's, oh, they're not hired, I can't get no job. You know, your labor is worth a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Your labor is worth mm-hmm. a lot of money. So you think if you spend 100% of your time for yourself, mm-hmm. you put that same 12, 14 hours in for yourself that someone will pay you $60,000 for, like you say, you can't tell me you can't make, you know, at least the $60K you was given to them or $100K or $150K for yourself.
Yes.
But you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in, and you got to change your mindset. You can't think that the only way, and I thought this way, mm-hmm. but you can't think the only way to make a living is for someone else to pay you and someone else to see value in that commodity.
Right.
You got to see it in yourself because we have the labor. We have the black community in general. Our labor is worth trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So imagine if we all did what me and you did and left the corporate job and kept that $1 trillion of labor mm-hmm. in our own community.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Imagine what we would have.
Absolutely, and even if you were intelligent enough to say, okay, you guys need this labor, and just to give you some insight, I walked away from Equifax, right? I was in security. And I was a safeguard of those 143 million records that got lost, right? So I jokingly say they should have treated me better. But it wasn't that. I was just going to leave anyway. But if you think about it, even with somebody as talented as yourself, if you wanted to go and work with some of these other companies and extract some revenue from them, you know how to do it differently. Now you do it as a consultant. It's like, I still have my own business and I will consult with you for a few hours a week for X amount of dollars. And people don't see that as an option. I'm like, man, you got to see that these people want you around. And when you start looking at executives and corporate attorneys and stuff like that, that's what they do. It's like, no, this is my business. But you can hire my business for some consulting hours and I will help you. But I'm still my own person, man. So let's talk my favorite subject real quick, man, money. And I hear you talk all the time and see some of your posts and some of your memes is man, don't go buy that new iPhone for $1,000 and you don't own no Apple stock. Right? So would you break down for the people how easy it is to go buy a couple shares of stock, man? See, the main two reasons that I get that people not investing is, number one, they don't have money. So we can help them fix their money problem. We can help them fix their mind around the fact that you got money, you just giving it all away. And then two is fear. But the only thing that overcomes fear is knowledge. So when you tell them how simple it is to buy stock,
it's so simple that you really you wouldn't even believe how easy it is. That's why I don't say it's frustrating, but it's just like, listen, it's so easy to buy a share of stock. And with the example with Apple, the reason why I said that is because the new iPhone X is like what, 1,000, 1,200, something like that. And I was like, that's more than what the share price is. Yes. So if you want to pay for that, the Apple last time I checked was like 150 or something, trading like that. So if you can spend $1,000 on a phone, you better have at least a couple shares of stock that costs $150.
Right.
But it's literally so easy to buy a share of stock. And the thing about the apps now, that literally changed the game. Like Acorn, Stash, Robinhood, I think there's a few others. It literally changed the game. Like it's literally so easy to buy a share of stock. If you can check your Facebook, if you can check your Instagram likes, if you can even check your bank account, you can buy a share of stock. So if you just want to do it, the easiest way is to get the app. So you can literally download the app, Robinhood, Acorn, Stash. I personally use Acorn. You can download the app. You can link your bank account, and you can start with as little as $5. So $5 a day, $5 a week, $5 a month. That's all you can afford. You can literally do that in about 15 minutes. If you want to take it to another level, you can just open a brokerage account. Like I use TD Ameritrade, you can use them, or E-Trade, Scott Trade, or Vanguard, or T. Rowe Price, or Schwab. I could go on and on and on.
Right.
You can open those accounts. Literally, it takes you about 15, 20 minutes, no more. You can call the company. They have reps that get paid that you can call, and they can walk you through the process, literally step by step by step. So if you say, I don't know how to open a brokerage account. Okay, you call them on the phone. You get them on the phone. You take 20 minutes out your day. You get them on the phone, and they walk you through the entire process. And then you link your bank account. And with TD Ameritrade, I know the minimum was only $50 to start. So you can put about $50 in or more, and link your bank account, and then just start buying shares of stock. You know, you just see, what's Apple trading at, what's Facebook trading at, Walmart, Target, Netflix, whatever it is. And then you literally can be an owner of shares of stock. It is literally so easy. And just to debunk the myths that people have, number one, that you need a lot of money. You do not need a lot of money. You do not need a lot because people all the time, people come to me. I was talking to this girl the other day. I was like, you gonna start buying stock? She was like, I don't have the money. I'm a single mom and stuff like that. I was like, listen, I get that. I understand that. But you have, a 9-to-5 job. You have a steady income. You're making about $1,200, $1,500 every 2 weeks. You can take $25 at least, $50 a month of every 2 weeks and put into some type of stock account. You can do that. I don't want to hear that you can't. So number one, the myth is you need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money. A lot of investment, you don't need a lot of money. The apps, you do not need a lot of money. And then, and number two is I'm going to lose all my money. I'm confused, a lack of information. But you have to invest for the long term. So I follow Warren Buffett closely. He says if you don't want to have a stock for at least 10 years, then don't own it for 10 minutes. So you got to have the long-term mindset. Most people want to get rich quick. They want to start trading penny stocks. After 6 months, I want to be rich. No, you're looking at it the wrong way. So don't get caught up in trying to pick the right stock. Just pick something, let it build up, let it grow, and you don't need a lot of money. Get an app, or you can open a brokerage account. It's very, very easy.
Gotcha. Yeah, and 3 accounts, man. You're checking your savings and your brokerage, and even if you, I teach that even if you're not ready to start buying the stock, you can just put the money in your brokerage account. So just get used to just transferring money for the purpose of investing. So you got your checking, you got your savings. So most people automatically have a percentage of their check go from their to their checking, then some go into their savings. Well, guess what? You can set up a third and have some automatically go into your brokerage account. And while you're learning, since you say knowledge is the reason I'm not, well, get with Ryan so he can teach you some things to look for in a good, solid investment, and just get used to. And I don't like the direct deposit is cool, but I like the psychology of actually taking the steps of transferring money from one account into a brokerage account. So now you're actively doing and thinking about, hey, here's why I'm doing this. Oh, it's Friday. Let me take some money and put out of my main account, put it in my brokerage account. I'm not ready to start investing yet, but I'm going to keep doing this. And this is going to remind me on Friday, let me take an hour and let me go to Morningstar or some of these other financial publications and read a little bit and learn a little bit. And then before long, you'll be ready. You look up and you're like, man, I got $1,000 sitting over here. Screw the iPhone.
I like how you said that. Because if you do it that way, like you said, put the money in, even if you're not ready to invest, you're still learning, just have money go in, extra 20, 50, 100, whatever it is. And then you may hear something, Snapchat's going public or something like that, and then the money's already there. You can just go in and buy it, because a lot of times you may hear something, something's going on, you want to buy something, but the money's not there yet. You don't have your brokerage account yet. And then, once you hear the information, by the time you can wrap your head around opening the account, put the money in there, it may be too late, or you forget about it, you get frustrated. But if you have the money already there waiting, as soon as you hear something, you get that news, or something's on the news, something's trading, Amazon bought Whole Foods, to something like that, and then the money's there, you can go in and buy it right there, and you can take advantage of this opportunity to build wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Corvell says if you wear it, drive it, drink it, use it, consume it, you should own part of it.
Absolutely, because you're just making them rich. You're making them rich when you drink it, drive it, consume it. You're making them rich. So why not make yourself rich also?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you jumped out of the corporate world and you start doing personal financial consulting and start teaching and educating mainly our community. As you were doing that, I'm sure you got to the point where you realized, building your brand became important to do more of that and help more. Then you got into learning and understanding how to effectively use social media. Let's take these last 20 minutes, man. Because I'm telling everybody, man, it's cool that you want to share what you have for dinner. It's cool that you got the cute pictures of the babies, and it's football season here in St. Louis, so everybody got their babies in their first little football uniform, and that stuff is cool. But tell the folks what else they can be doing with the power of social media, man.
There's so many things. We could go way beyond 20 minutes. We could talk for a month straight about this information. But I'll make it brief. Just a few things. Number one, we have to realize, so we have to understand technology. We have to realize the times that we're in. So people are literally becoming billionaires. Like Snapchat, Snapchat didn't exist 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? These people just came out of college. I think Evan Spiegel was middle class, something like that. Now he's 28 and has more money than Oprah. You know what I mean? Mark Zuckerberg, he's already made $20 billion in 2017.
This year alone.
So these people are becoming billionaires. So this is something that just in general we need to be looking at. But people, it's just so many opportunities on social media. And I love how you brought up the point that I always say, take a picture of your food, that's good, the family, the kids, we want to talk about, love and hip hop, stuff like that. That is cool. But you can make money on social media. We're on social media right now, talking about this, connecting with our people, offering products and services for us to make money. You can literally make money on social media. But the first thing